Well, here's what we are going to start with first thing in this video. The decals came in for the side panels of this 8700 chopper. I got decals for this the other day when I opened the box up. I didn't like how the decals were wrapped or packaged. Where they were rolled up, the decal came away from the backing piece of the sticker. This here, this one for the right side looks perfect. However, the sticker for the left here, this was sealed. This was in a box that was open, it wasn't sealed, and the decal is coming away from the backing plate, the sticky, the white piece. This one's for the left side. I don't know if it's going to be that great, but we're going to try it anyway. So I know some of you said, oh, get this guy to make the decals, get that guy to make the decals. It is slightly curved. It is multicolor, yellow, black, a little bit of dark yellow in there, and what have you. No, you can't just, it's not an easy feat to make that decal, but this John Deere looks different than what I remember the decal looking like, so we'll know once we get that one undone. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get this side on there. If it screws up, it screws up. I'm hoping that we can use a heat gun to get the spots that are away from the back piece. I'm hoping that'll stick down, and I'm hoping it'll work. So we'll join up with you guys in a little while once we get this figured out. Not pulling it too much from you, am I? No. Take it your way a little bit, a little more, right there. It's gonna, yeah. Good there. All right, I'm pretty good now. Now, left hand, you keep your left hand there. Take your right hand and grab that and pull it very, very slowly. Okay. Keep going. Pretty good. Going good. Alright, now you pull that off, don't let it stick. So bring it out a ways. Pull it right off and keep it out. Okay. Now hold it kind of tight. Yeah. All right, let it go. Let it. Alright, so we've got this stripe on the left side, and on that panel above the fuel tank there was a stripe that went like this, and they don't have that stripe available anymore. So they sent these. These are they're a sub part. They're for like a 9000 series. And you can kind of see that like the black is smaller and on that one compared to, we'll have to look at some pictures and try to figure out what looks the best as far as putting this on there, because yeah, I don't know. But if you put it down, it's not going to go down though. It has to go like that, because the black part is thicker on the bottom. So unless we just stick it on there like that.
Right, like that's not like lined up or anything. That's just like random.
Yeah.
I almost think it almost look better plain.
Yeah, it might, but I don't know. So we'll go ahead and get the decal on the other side. But that makes it look a little more gooder.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, you messed up.
Yeah. Alright, so we were looking at some pictures online, and they do not offer, or they're not putting a yellow sticker on this left side of any of the new ones. It's not available for these older ones, and it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and put the stripe on the right hand side, and that little short decal will fit on this side. It's going to go on that access door right there. So we'll put that on after we get this long one on. And as you can see, the 8700i decal is
These zeros are.
we can cut it with a razor.
Yeah.
And or we could take the 700i off and get a 9700 decal. Cut the 8 off.
Just take it all off and make it a 97.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Everybody thinks
Yeah,
it's a 97.
yeah. So, all right, we'll get this guy on there. I'm afraid to put this one on because of how well that other side went, but oh well.
We can see this.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so you can get the heat gun out and just put a little bit of heat on that and swoosh it down and do both sides. I'm going to see if I can get an 87, a 0 and an I. I think I can, unless they made them different. So, that's it, heat gun. Alright, so we've got this right hand side on there. It went on nicely. They use this John Deere decal on the older 8000s right on through up to the new 9000s. So that is the same decal for all of them. Well, we've kicked the chopper outside. Now we're ready to work on getting this right axle apart. We kicked the chopper outside, gonna do this tractor in this bay so that if need be, they've got this bay here to pull something else into. Now I replaced the armrests, replaced both of them. One was $69 and one was $80, and they are basically the same thing. One's a left, one's a right. So what we need to do now is drain the oil out of this. We're going to keep the oil and then we'll put it back in because we already did the other side. And when we drain the oil out, we put that into a barrel that we'll use on the hydraulic systems on the trucks because the oil was semi-clean. It didn't have any brake material in it. However, since this was just done about 100 hours ago, we can reuse this oil. So we'll just dump it into this barrel and then we'll use the diaphragm pump to pump it back into the tractor. So we'll get the oil drained, get the wheels removed, get this axle housing unbolted, pull the old parts out, put the new parts in. So pretty cut and dry. A little bit of a pain in the ass, but again, we'll have the brakes matching each side. In other words, new components. We don't want to run old components on one side and new ones on the other. It'll wear out quicker, and then we'll just be replacing the brakes on the other side prematurely anyways when that side goes. So yeah, doesn't make much sense, but at the same time it does. So we'll get after it here. Well, this side here we're having some problems with. I got these bolts all loose. I've got the wedge loose and the hub. But there's rust built up in the teeth that are on the bottom of this axle shaft. So it's not allowing the hub to move at all. It'll move either way just a little bit. But the teeth on that gear that walks it off the axle is getting plugged up with the rust. So this wedge bolt here broke off, which that's not a big deal. We can just cut that off on the back side and just leave it. However, the center one, they have a nut on the back side of that with a heavy metal pin that goes through it. That's not supposed to be removed, but you can remove the other ones. So I said, well, being that I can't get it to move, I'm gonna have to pull that top wedge. So I went to bend the clip back on the back side, which are these clips here. And I was gonna take the nut off, but the bolt was set up in the hub. So I went to drive it back in and it wouldn't move. And then after a while, it broke. So we've got a broken bolt to dig out of this hub on the back side. Probably got to remove the wheel weight and every other damn thing to get stuff welded onto it and whatever to get it out. But what we can do now is get this wedge out. We might have to lift up with the forklift on the bottom of the tire to relieve the pressure of the weight of this wheel hub, tire, and wheel weight that's on this wedge here. So once we dig that out, it's going to let this hub drop down enough. It'll let this toothed wheel come away from the axle, and we'll be able to pull it out. Alright, so that is off of there. We usually, when we take these off, we try to keep them standing up, but I have to lay this guy down. And this guy here, what we need to do is we need to get this wire out of there, or that metal tab, and then we have to get the nut off of that end. And I'm hoping that we can get that broken bolt out of this hub. We're probably going to have to remove the weights in order to do that. This bolt broke right here. At least it broke in the thread, so we can take that either way, but you can see the threads are just garbage. So we'll get after this here. Well, we've got that wheel off of here, and then what we have to do now is we have to take this fuel line that is on this fuel tank. We need to take it off, we need to take the fitting out, and we need to plug it so that we don't break the bung on this plastic fuel tank. Then we can remove all of these bolts here. They're M16s around the final drive. Pull that out. Now, what I don't like is the fact that this hub is all wet, or it's damp here. It's got dust stuck to it. Now, if I didn't go and have the bearings done on this side, everybody'd ask, oh geez, why didn't you do the bearings on the other side? Well, they don't usually go at the same time, but being that this is damp and wet, I'm wondering if maybe this side isn't too far behind that side over there. So we might as well do the bearings on this side as well, just because it's got 11,000 hours on it, and most of the time one side will go and the other side is fine. It's just the nature of the beast. But being that this is damp on this side, we might as well go and get this done as well. So we're going to get this off. We're going to run it over to Side and Stricker. They have a stand to do this on, and then they could do all the preload and everything else. We should probably get one of those stands and do these ourselves. So we'll go ahead and get this off and then get it over to Side and Stricker, and then we're going to be a day or three before we're going to be able to get this back together. So, all right. Alright, so I ended up spilling a little bit of fuel on the floor here. Didn't put the catch pan underneath it until after the fact, but we'll lose some oil once we pull the piston. Now, this side was in a lot worse shape than the other side was. And as you can see, there's not much material left on that disc. So what we're going to do now is we are going to throw this in the back of my truck and run it over to CAS equipment. I might shove one of these bolts. Yeah, I'm gonna shove that through there, put a nut on there, just so we don't lose this ring gear. We'll have to pull it off when we get it back from and reseal it between here and there. But we don't want to take that off now because we don't want these gears exposed. So we'll go ahead and get things cleaned up here. And that's where we're gonna leave off with this video. This is gonna be sitting here for a day or 3, and we'll just have to get this cleaned up, and then we'll join back up with you guys on this project when it goes back together. But this brake disc itself is in pretty tough shape. It has minimal material still left on it, on what would that be, the inside of it. So that's kind of good to see that, because had we left this, we'd probably be doing brakes on this in another year or so. So we'll join up with you guys later. So that is gonna do it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you at the next one.